I think for a lot of people, their issue is not so much the opportunities or even the resources because they're there. It's more so the lack of self-belief. And I say that because without it, there's pretty much, I won't say nothing you can accomplish, but you're very limited in what it is that you can accomplish. Self-belief gives you all of that about you, and it builds your confidence because that's what it's based on. Your confidence is based on the belief in self, your belief in self. So no matter how you feel about a situation, you will react according to how you feel about yourself. I've been hearing over and over again lately being reactive as opposed to being proactive. And I think that's pretty profound. It's because a lot of people are reactive. They react first and think last, and some people don't even think last. They just go on their schedule as opposed to reflecting on their actions. And that's very important, especially when it comes to growth. You need to be able to reflect on your doings, whether it's for your place of employment, or if you are a business owner, or as a parent, as a child, as a sibling, as a mate, as any type of influence that you have. And trust me, it doesn't matter what position you're in, you are influencing someone. So if not for nothing else, it's something to be said about that. And then that brings me to my next thought. That means that if someone is watching you, we base a lot of what we do off other people. And again, that circles back around to how people lack self-belief. It's because you can believe in somebody else so much that you can literally stop believing in yourself. And that's basically how worship comes about. And I'm going to take that in two different ways, in two different angles, so it can make sense. So when I say worship, I'm not saying it as if it's a bad thing to worship. Worship is good if you know what you're worshiping and why you're worshiping. Like, those two factors are very important before you give your divine energy to it. Because again, you are attracting things. We are beings that attract. And I'll get to that. But now we're just talking about how self-belief is created, right? Because over time, we either increase that belief, or in certain situations, maybe traumatic experiences cause you to lose your self-belief, right? Could be a situation that you encountered that you didn't think you were good enough for, or others didn't see what you had to offer, or it may have taken a little longer to accomplish it, and because it wasn't on quote unquote others' time, right? Other people's time, then an issue arose where you thought because you couldn't move like they moved at the time that you had to be less than. And trust me, that's the furthest from the truth. So if you haven't been told that, let me clear that up for you now. No, because your time is different from others' time, which is why it's imperative that you don't put your belief in someone else fully without believing in yourself. You know, I can believe that a serial killer is a good person, but will that save me from anything that their instincts will do because of the belief that they may have? So if we're looking at it in that sense, then we need to look at it on how it affects us on a day-to-day basis in creating who we are. Because every day we're adding to ourselves, or we're taking from ourselves. So it's important that we pay attention to what we are leaving behind and what we're picking up. And some of us go days without picking or dropping anything off. We just stand still. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but this experience is not going to be around for 100 years, 200 years. And when I say this experience, I mean the fleshly body. Okay? It has an expiration date. Like the things that we buy and we put into this body. But because of that, then it's better to use that time as if you understand that concept. Because wasting away time is literally just cutting away at your shelf life. And when you can see things like that, you can understand better who you are. Because now it forces you to face yourself, not wait. We put ourselves on the back burner so much. And for what? For other people. It's normally when it happens. It's like, oh, I'm gonna help them and I'll come back to me. Which, don't get me wrong, we should help each other. Definitely. That makes us feel good on the internal level that you can't get from no drugs. That's oh my God, it's like the best high to have, right? That's what we aim for. You don't have to take nothing. You have this natural high because of what you've been given, the universe, and what the universe give back to you. OMG. Isn't that what we want? So if that's what we want, how do we become aligned? We become aligned by understanding how we should keep ourselves in belief, right? Understanding what our individual power is. That's what our purposes are. We try to talk about purpose as if, oh, I don't know my purpose. What is my purpose? If we really want to understand our individual purpose, then the first thing we have to do is understand ourselves. That's not an outside journey. So it's not like you're going to pick up your book bag and travel down the road like Forrest Gump on a mission to find your purpose. No, that's not what that is. What's going to happen is, for you, is you're going to sit down and you're going to face those things that you've been running from. Because you think that you've been doing such a good job of doing so, when really all you've been doing is running into one room, like on the movies when they go in the hallway and they have all the different doors and they may go into that door and come out the other door. That's how, and something is chasing them. That's pretty much what's going on inside of you. So no demons will gravitate to you, right? And when I talk about demons, I use that term loosely. What I want to say is what you attract. So we look at it as demon because we demonize it because we look at it as something negative, when if we're all just being truthful with ourselves, is what we attract. Now, I'm not saying everything that comes our way, it was on purpose and we should know better. I'm saying the more you know yourself, the more you can direct yourself. You can gain self-control, discipline, and most importantly, you have that keen ability to discern. Like, we can't stop what's going on around us. It's going to happen because this world was here before we were, and it's going to keep going. It's going to cleanse itself. So what man think it is doing to cleanse this earth is just a waste. I'm not going to say a waste of time. I'll rather say we could be using those resources to make sure that how things are going to continue to be involved, that we are a productive part of that and not taken from it, right? And if we don't know how to give ourselves that, and we take from ourselves, then how can we get to other people, let alone earth, right? Like, you look around, we don't have to tell the trees how to grow. They will grow, and they'll be here. They probably on some of these properties, these family properties, where it's been there forever already, through generations and generations. So we're not controlling any of this. We're flowing with it. And the more we resist it, the more you feel resistance. So if we want to move forward and work as one with what we see and be able to discern and move around those things that will cause us resistance, it all comes back to you. You. The one thing you don't want to face. Now, if you do, by chance, if you do decide to face you, I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a journey. And it's going to hurt like shit. But, when I tell you it's worth it, holy gee, it's worth it. So when you see the Matrix and you see how he got that pattern down, and it finally dawned on him that that was him. He became unstoppable. He saw the signs. He saw the system. He could maneuver through it and then own it. We can do the same. But the only way you cannot is if you don't know who you are. Not knowing who you are will lead you on a path of trying to find someone and seek out someone who is confident in who they are. If you ever notice, the people that people admire are people who are confident in themselves. It's a message there. Now with that, you can have your confidence. Because it doesn't matter how much you admire them, you can't have their confidence. Because you didn't go through what they went through. You didn't do it. And it's not even to say that you can't. It's saying they had those particular tasks to accomplish. And instead of running this time, they faced it. And with that, it gave them the ability to believe in themselves, to say, hey, I can take this on. I know me enough to know I can do this. And maybe, just maybe, if I push myself a little more, this will be uncomfortable. But guess what? Because I've been through all of that, I think I can do this too. And as you accomplish those little things, you're now building your self-confidence. How that works? And then when that self-confidence is built, now everything around you is simplified. You've simplified things. There's no more complication in your life. Because you stop trying to figure out everything around you and focus on you. So no matter what the situation was, you took who you are and added it to that equation, the best version that will fit that particular situation to come out of it with positive results, right? It's like if you're at work and you're getting into it with, or you have co-workers that are starting mess or whatever, and you don't know you're going to be reactive, right? And as you become reactive, now I don't know what they think they playing with. You're right, they don't. Because when you do become impulsive, you will slap somebody. We know. But guess what? The consequences after that, you lost your job. So even though you fed into that temporary ego, that temporary high self-esteem, it caused it to plummet afterwards because you lost your job. So it's like a quick fix of, I'm going to show them because I know I am worth this. And then it's immediately down. And then look how far you got to go to come back up to where you were before the whole situation occurred. You got to start over something that she said and she don't even know you. Now take that a step further. When you get to know you, that situation about her not knowing you will be just that. these people are not even worth your time if they don't know you. And they're accusing you of things that you know you haven't done. I'm not arguing with you. My self-worth won't let me. Now, when you start thinking of it in those terms, then you know that you are falling in love, or you are in love with yourself. And people that are in love with themselves will never be alone. They'll never be alone. Because they love themselves. I love who I've created, right? I love the person I can sit with, which is me, right? And I don't need anything around me like a TV on or constantly scrolling the web. I can sit with me because I love me, right? And then when you do meet someone, or people want to come into your space, your aura that you suspected, then you start being a little more careful with you. You don't play around. You wanna do background check, because you don't need anything out of the norm shaking all this up. You know what you need to know about the universe to flow how you need to flow. Okay? So we don't let people like that tear that up for us. Because when you know better, you have no choice but to do better. Because even when you know better, listen to me. Even when you know better and you choose not to do better, when you choose not to do better, your internal self feels it. And so you're feeling sad and you don't know why, because your internal self knows that you know better. So what? I feel bad because I deserve better. Come on. So your self-belief is just that important as you believe that the sun is going to shine and give you a beautiful day. Just like you know when you walk outside, you can see these trees giving you the oxygen. You believe that. You have to have the same belief in yourself, because you are one and the same with the universe. It's not going to change. What if the trees had an attitude every day, every other day? Be slapping you every time you walk by, a little limb just pop you in the face. Right? No. What if the trees get mad at you and say, I'm not going to give you any oxygen? You will die. We will all die. Good thing the universe is not based off of emotions. Now, here we are with the choice to feel different things. Okay? The universe just is. We can be. Listen to me, we can be. Because we're human beings. But when we start feeling, that's when things change. So it's important to use your emotions wisely, because it's merely energy and motion. So what you got to do, you have to have a belief that you can control you. And you believe it. You believe it now. So you can start working on it. And as you work on it, you're going to see the difference in your self-confidence. Because you're not going to doubt yourself anymore. You're going to doubt yourself less. And you're going to take on more challenges. You're going to do more with your self-care to make sure that you are around for this. Because, hey, life ain't bad. Now that I look at it, now that I see it through my eyes and not someone else's, right? The universe is too big and we're just a speck on this earth. We should use this time wisely. So take that time to get to know who you are, so you can see the beauty in life. Because once you understand what you're giving for free already, anything else is just icing on the cake. I'm just a messenger.